This is it, man. I'm making history right here.
Our first ever YouTube.
We were doing so well.
Rodeo.
We practiced that.
Which is ironic because we were just at a rodeo in New Mexico last night.
We were. And we did one of our, I think, crazier nights. My 6-year-old son Leo has been calling it the crazy night. He's been looking forward to it because what happened was...
We never slept.
We didn't really sleep. I mean, you can't.
We finished the show, took a shower, drove 2 hours.
We should give them more details of that.
Right.
Show was
they didn't come here for that.
Show was at 9:30.
Which is technically 10:30 because it's on Mountain Time. This is a big debate between Luke and me.
Well, where we were.
Finished at midnight.
But yes. And
got back to the hotel at 1.
And then we had to go to the airport and catch a 5 a.m. flight, but we were an hour and a half, hour 45 away.
Actually, an hour 55 away. 2 hours away.
So we had to leave at 1 a.m. 2 a.m. And we got to the airport at 3:30, 3:45-ish. Got on the plane.
Lubbock to Dallas. Then our second plane's electricity didn't work, so they had to replace the plane. So we were there for a couple hours. And
here we are. That was our night.
And our morning. And we're in the bus.
We're in the bus.
With you. 19 minutes away from the world premiere of what we've got a computer here. We've got all your questions coming in. We see you.
Comments, yeah.
So fire away on your questions, your comments. This is kind of not as a first rodeo, but this song and music video and the way it all came about. We're just going to give you an inside scoop to the song and the music video because it's kind of amazing and alarming that this actually happened.
Yeah.
Some of you know about the song. The song was really we'd always had the song even when we worked on the record, but we really wanted the album to feel, not be tied like Burn the Ships, not be tied to a specific song, but for the question, what are we waiting for, it to be all-encompassing over the album. And we also didn't have the song finished quite yet. And so we pushed it to release it June 16th of this year. Not long after that, or around that time, our very own Caden Tooley, who's behind the camera. Well, you tell this part because you were in White Sands.
We went to White Sands National Park, and I think that Caden and I were walking together, and there was another guy actually that we were walking with, Jason Epps, who tours with us. And I made the comment, I was like, dude, look how freaking cool he looks just walking on the dune desert. And I think that we had kind of said, hey, it would be cool, potentially one day to do like a music video out in the desert on dunes. But we didn't really think much of it. We just kind of had this discussion. Though What Are We Waiting For was finished and was coming out. And so Caden went away and was like, aha, I've got some ideas.
Fast forward to the day before Memorial Day. So May 28th. We're in Edmonton, Canada. We're sitting in catering. Caden says, man, I think we should do a music video for What Are We Waiting For? And it makes so much sense because go back to where we started this What Are We Waiting For album journey. Everything from the album art to the monologue was all an allegory about these desert nomads sort of finding their way to an oasis, to a new life. And it was really an allegory about coming out of the pandemic and so on. And so we sat, I think on May the 28th, May the 29th in Canada. And basically, not quite on napkins, but that sort of thing. Just came up with this whole concept for what you're about to see. I'm not going to tell you too much. But if you have questions, you should fire away.
Yes, because we have 15 minutes until...
well, and I will say this. Here's where the miracle comes in. So we talked about this concept that you're about to see in 15 minutes on the 28th of May.
Yeah,
and then on the 8th of June, we were in the desert, the California desert.
The Mojave Desert, yeah.
Filming the music video. It came together. Usually it takes months to plan this stuff. And it just so happened we called costume, we called camera ops, we called DPs, we called production design, and everyone was available. and so it came together in a pretty magical kind of way. And if anyone has been out in the desert lately, it's like 117 degrees out there. It was a perfect, cool 80 degrees that day. So God was kind to us. It actually rained as we drove out to the desert that morning. All right, questions.
They're making more statements than questions, but
okay, question. What gave you the idea that you then used to make the amazing songs you now make? From
what gives the ideas? Yeah.
Well, let's start with what are we waiting for?
Well, what are we waiting for? The whole album, What Are We Waiting For, was written in kind of the pandemic, the latest stage of the pandemic, and I think that for both Joel and I, we didn't ever, you don't really want to write pandemic songs, right? But I do think that you realize and learn a lot of things when you go through something as an entire world together. That was one of the strange things that I felt was, usually you would say you'd go to a different country or something. Well, back, in our country, we would just walk through this. The pandemic is one of those moments where it was the entire world going through the same thing at the exact same time. And I think that what I realized, and what we talked about when we were writing the song, was there was a lot of people that had, stored up hopes and dreams for their life, but because they think, because maybe life didn't feel super fragile in before the pandemic, I think there was a lot of, hey, we're going to wait until, maybe 3-4 years down the way before we kind of get to some of these hopes and these dreams. And, I think the question that, we wanted to ask was, well, man, we're not guaranteed, 3 or 4 years down the way. If these things are these dreams are given to you and you alone, they're for you to actually go out and do, And so that question of what are we waiting for, I felt like was one that was really important I think it was really important for us, hopefully you guys know this, but most of the time when we write these songs, we're writing these songs to comfort our own souls, to work out some of the things that we're processing. And in turn, I think we're asking ourselves that question of what are we waiting for? What are the things that we feel like we're being called to do that maybe haven't taken place yet? And that challenge of that question of what are we waiting for, I think is an important thing for everyone to ask themselves and to act on.
Amen and agreed. And we're probably going to have to pick up the pace on the answers because they're coming in. Your questions are coming in hot. All right. So Tiffany asked, is there a link between your music video that was shot in Salt Flats of Utah, Amen, and your music video for What Are We Waiting For? You'll have to wait and see. Wow. We didn't talk about that. Look at that for a short answer. When are you guys coming to Germany, Lena asked.
Oh man, we hope in the coming years. We don't have anything scheduled. We're trying to get back to Australia and do another tour back there. The last time we were back there was in 2019, and we've had other plans to go to Europe, and obviously because of the pandemic and all sorts of different things, a lot of those plans have been a little ruined. So the problem with plans is then you have to go and remake the plans, and so it's a little tricky. So hopefully in the coming years, but that doesn't sound very nice to say.
Still a bit long of a answer.
I think that they like my answers more than yours.
Whatever happened to the vlogs?
Well, we may make one.
I think we're making one right now, sort of.
24 hours.
Yeah, we actually might make one about the last 24 hours. So keep an eye out for that. Will you be filming projects with your wives again in the future?
Look, I hope so. I think it depends, obviously, on the content of the song, and how if that's to work out. But Pioneers was one of our, I think, all-time faves to make. It was a beautiful place and super fun to make.
Speaking of music video, shot in Iceland. Fun fact. Yes, they want more vlogs. Particularly, Reese wants more vlogs. No, Angela wants more vlogs.
Jade
with 20 exclamation points afterwards.
Did you count them?
I did, actually, individually.
What's
your favorite? What's your favorite music video yet? What are we waiting for?
Favorite music video?
Duh.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool.
It's up there.
It's cool. I also really liked Amen was really cool. Burn the Ships was really cool. you know, in some cases you're making these things, and I'm thinking one of we're waiting for will be the same. You make these things, and you get nostalgic about them after you've made them, but in the moment they're pretty complex. And I think this will be much the same. You know, you look back on Brother Ships with the ship, all of the things. It's fun.
Favorite costumes? I would actually say that's a good
This
one.
one, yeah, this one would be.
This one takes the cake. We've got, and we can tell you this. So you can see we built. Actually, shout out to Catherine Tucker. She built all of the musical Cold War kind of instruments that we're playing.
Cold War.
I don't know. A lot of digital, like, era-based.
If they had some Cold War instruments like we have in the music video, I think it would be
Cold War inspired. Let's say that.
There you go.
And then also, Ashley Lowen, who did all the wardrobe. There's literally, guys, there's a magical warehouse in Los Angeles. It's shut down right now because of the strike. But they have, you can walk past just rows and rows, and it'll be, you know, over here you see Star Wars, and over here you'll see.
You can go rent the stuff. It's crazy.
Waterworld, for those of you.
Mad Max.
Yeah. So
we
all
actually
those
costumes go somewhere.
We pulled those few costumes from Waterworld, and I think even from June, if I'm not mistaken. All right.
That would be applicable.
It would. Matthew is sending greetings from Melbourne, Australia. Matthew, thanks for being with us.
Most people don't know this, but in Australia it is known that Melbourne has the greatest coffee in Australia. Australia
has some of the greatest coffee in the world. All right, we got 9 minutes, guys.
Yeah, but it's about relationship. It's not about
it's about time.
It's about Matthew's question.
We got to keep moving. Guys, it's really hard to keep up with your kind questions.
They do come in.
Yes.
They come in very, very, very fast.
Hardest music video to make?
Hardest music video to make?
This was not.
No,
somehow this was pretty smooth. Most difficult music video to make was probably Amen, because it was an all-night shoot, and then we had to go into an Olympic-sized pool to shoot all the underwater stuff, and Luke almost dry drowned. True story. I was very concerned for you.
Yeah, that one was pretty. That one was pretty difficult. Also, Joy was a challenging one because we had the ropes that were attached to us to make us do the flying thing, and you know, this just shows you how fast technology moves. But back then, it was like a thing to try and, you know, especially at our range of budget, to remove the ropes from us flying. And I remember the post-production on Joy got a little crazy, and there was a discussion of, like, I think I remember asking our brother Ben, like, you can't remove the wires, right? Because if not, this is totally a mess.
It's very difficult.
Obviously, they can figure it out, but it's not an easy thing.
Not a walk in the park.
Not an easy thing to do. You're not doing very well.
I had a good one, and then I lost it because I was listening to your answer.
See, it was rude.
That one girl said, "Hey, Jolie." Like, that's her screen name, is actually that one girl. All right, we're running low on battery. We're running low on time. It's all coming to a head here, everyone.
Yes, it is.
So, let me say this.
Jill, say it, man.
We're going to give you a little, slightly ambiguous synopsis of what we were waiting for in the music video, just because you're here. And because you're our people. You're the King Country family. And I think you get a kick out of it. So when you watch it in 6 minutes, you can think through this as you watch it. The opening shot, there is a radio with seemingly a young girl. We're not going to tell you the end. Seemingly some sort of young girl reciting a monologue of sorts that's on repeat. I wonder if you can call where it is. So put it in the comments on the YouTube if you know where the monologue came from. And yours truly rises out of the sand.
He loves this stuff. He loves it.
And sort of finds the radio essence coming out and listens. And is sort of sparked by this, and that's when the song kicks in. starts singing the song, and as a good citizen sees that there is a little hand that pops up out of the sand and saves this other fellow that happens to be my little brother.
There we go.
Good.
Yeah.
That's a good blow.
Oh, and the other thing yes, you can keep going with your story.
No.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Well, I'm just going to say, one of the most unique things about this music video is we get buried in sand. And I think that most people have done this.
Terrifying.
It actually wasn't. I don't know why you come up with these narratives. I'm pretty sure we've all done it at the beach, where you get kind of buried. The amount of sand that was on me at one point, you can't actually move. I mean, you can't get up.
You get stuck.
You get stuck. That was a very interesting thing. And I will just say this. When you have that much sand on you and it's sweaty, the crevices and just...
He's not about the sand, guys. I didn't care about the sand. He's not about the sand.
It's an EBT.
All right, 4 minutes. Hey, here's a fun fact. You are going to see 6 other guys in this music video as they rise out of the sand. They are our entire band, all 8 of us, which is really fun. The only other time that's ever happened in a music video was at the end of Drummer Boy. And so it's really, they were great. We had a blast together.
Fun. It was a great time.
It's so much more.
Oh, the bus just turned off.
Thank God.
And they're probably like, something's wrong.
So we don't have to yell anymore. There is a sandstorm that does blow through. There is another major event that happens towards the end. Major cosmic event that happens towards the end.
Okay.
And now I'm talking really quiet.
Yep, now you sound like a therapist.
We only have 3 minutes left on our session here, everyone. And the sandstorm, actually, we had movie sand, Hollywood sand. It's not real sand, blowing. And the great thing was I was able to cover up my face. Luke had to sing the whole time, so he just got...
Yeah, man. There was one point, there was so much dust going into my mouth that I started laughing because I couldn't sing. I couldn't make any noise anymore. There was some definitely unique things, to say the least.
We're saying good day to hand hold, because he or she asks us to say good day. So good day.
That's good.
To you.
Okay.
All right, man. We're winding down here.
We're winding down. This person keeps asking, first song that we ever released, and then we should turn it back to what are we waiting for? First song that we ever released.
Let's end 1 minute early.
Let's end 1 minute early. All right, so,
Okay.
Well, first song we ever released, a song called Without Love.
Yeah, on Live in Florida, Rebecca St. James live album. Thule, come around here. Thule co-directed this and co-wrote it.
Yes.
So,
look at this.
face to a name.
Face to a name.
Wouldn't have happened without. Wouldn't happen.
That's exactly right. Well, guys, thank you for being willing to interrupt your... What day is it today? Is it Thursday? Your Thursday.
Yeah.
To spend a little time with us. It is not lost on us that obviously we make this music and these music videos to be shared, and the fact that you're willing to receive and just watch it is a lot of fun. So,
and thanks to all of you around the world too, seeing a lot of South America, Central America, Australia.
So cool. We want to get to all of them.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Thank you for joining us. So enjoy. You're the first to see this in the whole world, guys. So take it in, and really honored to be on this journey with you, and hope this song and even this music video kind of, you can find yourself in it, in the sort of allegory in seasons of life. Some are storms, some you go through a dark period, but I hope, without saying too much, that there's